Well, $6,000 later and the Subaru's back to normal. Well, it's time to throw the transmission onto the engine. I already got the flywheel on, I got the pressure plate on, I got everything torqued, spec. Next step I'm going to do is grab my spline grease, made by Driven. And it's kind of like a graphite infused grease. And I'll put it on all my splines, so I'll put it right here, I'll put it on my axles. Anything that has a spline on it, I always put spline grease. Alright, there she goes. This stuff right here, guys, works perfect on your fittings. Like these fittings, your pipe, any kind of pipe fittings. Fuel. Basically what this does is, if you guys have ever used plumber's tape in your house use, that's basically what this is, but for vehicles. Because if you get that plumber's tape, which this is what it looks like, plumber's tape. If you get some of this in your lock, it will stop your fuel from running. It'll stop your oil. It'll stop a lot of shit. So they actually make a paste that looks white, just like this, that you can use. But I actually get the high temperature kind. It works really well on your pipe stuff, any fittings. I'm actually going to try it this time. I had a hose leak around my radiator, and no matter how many fucking hose clamps I put on, it would not stop leaking, and it was a brand new hose. So what I'm going to try to do is add a little bit of this inside the hose, and then when I clamp it down, it should stop the leak. But we'll try it and see what it does. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and take the oil pan off of the old block, put it onto the new one. So I'm just going to use a 10mm socket. Go ahead and take all these off. Then I'll go ahead and lift the engine up with the cherry picker, and then I can just put the oil pan on from the bottom. Remember to Loctite the world. Alright guys, there we go. Anything I have left now is to put the other oil pan on that has the bung already welded into it, and I will put the valve cover, which has the bungs already welded into it, in after I put it back in the engine. Same thing with the turbo exhaust and everything. I'll put back in once it's in the car, but for the most part it's ready to go back in.